Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at the SH Figuarts Yuzuriha from Hell's Paradise. Gabimaru was one of my favorite figures from last year, and I really enjoyed the Hell's Paradise manga and anime so far, so I wanted to pick up this figure as well since Yuzuriha is a cool character. First we'll take a look at the sculpt and details. I like the overall sculpt and look of this figure. It looks accurate to the anime and manga. I'm a fan of this somewhat asymmetric design with the one gray forearm piece and the one white one. And the hair is a bit asymmetric, and then the sash here as well. The hair is sculpted very well. It's very accurate to what it should look like. The faces look nice, and the paint's done well, especially for the eyes. You can see on this default face it comes with in the package. It's got the little white dot in the corner of the eye to look like some reflection. That's very nice. They've been doing a great job with the eyes on the more recent figures. In the hair, there's this little gold detail for the pin going through the hair that's painted cleanly and looks good. Going down to the body and the outfit, I do wish there was some shading on this. Not really any shading going on here. Similar to Gabimaru. I feel like my last review of Toto spoiled me a bit on the shading they can do on figures. So I wish this figure had had some shading or some more paint details, but I think I can live with it. The gray bands on the arms, these are painted well. The shirt here is more like a softer kind of rubbery plastic. This belt piece is also soft and malleable. On the forearm, this silver's painted pretty well. Same thing with the white on this other forearm. Down at the waist there are these little green details. Those have a little dark green dot on the top and then this little white string, and that's sculpted nicely and painted well. For the pants, there's the cutout detail on the side of the legs there. And the paint for this hip matches the skin tone pretty decently. It's not 100% exact, but it's close enough. I've got these white malleable bits on the back as well. I think the pants look nice. Those are sculpted well. They've got some wrinkle details in them. I like the way they do baggier pants like this. And then for the lower legs and feet, those are just black. They've got like kind of a ruffle detail sculpted up here. And the feet have like a toe sculpted in, like socks or ninja shoes of some sort. So overall, I think it looks good. Pretty accurate to what we've seen in the manga and anime. I do just wish there was some more shading on it. It's really the one downside. For accessories, we saw the neutral face that comes on her in the package, but the figure comes with 4 other faces. One with the eyebrows angled and the mouth open, one with the tongue sticking out with the mouth closed like a little blip expression, one with the eyebrows arched and the mouth open, more like a happy open mouth face, and then one with the mouth open and eyes closed. And I think these all fit the character pretty well. Yuzuriha has a pretty happy and carefree character. Again, the eyes are done really well on all of these, and the paint for the mouths is also done well. So no complaints here. I think these are some good faces. For hands, the figure comes with fist hands in the package, a pair of open hands, a pair of style posed hands that has one finger extended, the 2 middle fingers together, and the pinky kind of relaxed, and a pair of gripping hands. So with gripping hands, we'll need something to grip, and it comes with 2 of these kunai that are cast in a metallic black plastic, and it also comes with a sword, which technically you could put in the gripping hands, but the sword does not come out of the sheath. So not really much use there, but there is a hole on the back of the figure and a ball peg on the sheath. So you can just pop that in there. So this serves more as decoration. I do wish the sword came out of the sheath, or there was an alternate sword that she could actually use. That being said, I don't think she actually uses the sword that much. She ends up using her ninpo more than actual weapons, which does bring me to something I think the figure is lacking. Any sort of effect part to indicate her abilities. So in the anime and manga, she has the ability to secrete like a slime, basically, and then we'll use that slime as like whips and things. I wish there was some sort of effect like that. Unfortunately, we didn't get that here. I did see some people make custom effect parts, similar to like Spider-Man webs. So for example, for a Spider-Man figure, I made this little web shooty effect with some wire and epoxy sculpt and then painted it. I've seen people use wire and then just like drip hot glue down it for her slime effects. So maybe I'll try to do something like that. But it is a little unfortunate that it didn't come with that. Maybe at least like a face with like little slime drip details painted on would have been nice. It does seem like SH Figuarts is a little bit lacking in effect parts lately, unfortunately. On to articulation. I was hoping this would have great articulation because for the most part I enjoyed the articulation that Gabimaru had. So the head is on a double ball peg. They are still using the tiny balls though, but looking up, you can look up about this much before the hair clashes into the back of the neck. And she can look down very well, basically all the way. No real limitations there. The neck is also on a ball peg. So you can shift that around. It doesn't really help with looking up though. Looking down, you can really tuck the chin with the neck articulation there. And because of that, you can lean the head however you'd like. Lots of side-to-side lean, which is nice. You should be able to get all the nuanced poses you want out of that. For the arms, there is a butterfly joint here. You can see this little cap here. Alright, well, now we can see what's in there. Didn't mean for that to pop off. It's like a little horizontal peg coming out, and then that attaches into this little socket. I'm trying to pop that back in there. It helps with moving the arm back a little bit. As you saw, if you go back too far, it might pop out. Going forward doesn't really do a whole lot, mostly because the arm bumps into the shirt before it really has a chance to be beneficial. So even with that butterfly joint, she can't really get her arms forward that far. A decent amount, I think it'll be fine. That is also limited somewhat by the chest sculpt. You can get the arms to not quite parallel there. But the butterfly joint doesn't look bad, so I'm not too upset that it's there. I mean, I'd rather have it than not, even though it doesn't do a whole lot moving forward. Moving the arms up, you get a ton of range there, basically straight up. There is a bicep swivel. It's hidden by this little band, the arm, which is nice. The shoulder's on a ball joint, so you do get a little bit of swivel there as well. So you should be good on swivel. For the elbows, they're double jointed and move about this much. Same amount on both of them, even though slightly different sculpts there. And then the wrists are on a ball hinge, so really the only limitation is when they bump into the arm. Coming down to the torso, it looks like there's a cut here for some diaphragm articulation. It doesn't seem to actually do anything. That might just be where they glued the figure together. It doesn't seem to move there at all. So I suppose I do wish that cut wasn't there if there wasn't going to be articulation there. Moving back, you can lean back about this much, lean forward, not very much at all. Yeah, not super great there. It is on a ball peg, so you do get some swivel and you can lean side to side. Decent overall. I think you'll still be able to get in the poses you want, but I do wish it leaned forward more. Let's actually see if removing the sword will give better range going backwards. Yeah, so a lot better range going back without the sword, since that peg hole can tuck all the way. The sculpt does continue down far enough that you don't really get much gapping leaning back that far either, so that's good. Legs move out, basically the full splits. It's very good. Legs can kick forward a decent amount, and back not so much, mostly because the sculpted butt gets in the way. There is a thigh swivel that's cut kind of at an angle on the sculpt there, so it looks pretty decent. Double jointed knees. They get pretty good range for the bulkiness here. It kind of stops when you hit this bulky bit in the pants. And then coming down to the feet, ankles move forward this much, back this much, but it does flare out this bit of plastic here a little bit. And then these are on a ball hinge, so there's swivel and an ankle rocker as well. And there's a toe hinge. It looks pretty good, and it's not super floppy. So, decent toe hinge. So I would say overall the articulation's pretty good. The main limitation is going to be leaning forward. That's rather unfortunate. I suppose you can still get around that by leaning forward on the hips, but I would have liked to see better torso articulation there. For size and comparisons, Yuzuriha is standing at about 5.5 inches to the top of the head and at about 6 inches to the top of these hair strands. Here she is next to Gabimaru. and I think they look really good together. They're sized appropriately. Gabimaru's a bit smaller, but he's our short king after all. I don't currently have Sagiri, although I am tempted to get her now that I've got Yuzuriha. For some other female characters from the Dark Trio, here's Nobara Kugasaki from Jujutsu Kaisen and Power from Chainsaw Man. And if you're curious about the other pro tags from the Dark Trio, here is Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man from Chainsaw Man. For a more monstrous character that I think she looks pretty good with, here's the V-Toys Asura, and then for a domestic 6-inch figure, here is the Marvel Legends Nightcrawler. Overall, I like this figure. I would still recommend it if you're a fan of Hell's Paradise and Yuzuriha. As long as you know there are some minor limitations with the articulation, mostly in the waist. The only other negatives are that there's not really much shading on it, but that's kind of to be expected. It's more of a surprise when there is excellent shading like Toto, and the lack of effect parts. I think this is a good figure. Effect parts would have made it a great figure. I'm still going to have fun posing it. It's still going to be a fun ninja character to have in the collection, and it'll look nice next to Gabimaru. So overall, I'm pretty happy with her. I don't have Sagiri yet. I just didn't think the pants on her looked very good. Let me know if you want me to pick up Sagiri and review that one as well. And let me know in the comments, are you going to pick up this figure? Have you watched or read Hell's Paradise and did you enjoy it? I hope you enjoyed this video and I helped you decide if you do want this figure. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.